Moving on to gameplay balances. They added a new Galactic War feature. The Galactic War map can now display the location of strategically important assets. I'm not too sure what that means. This will make it much easier for the Helldivers to take them into consideration when deciding on their next move. I'm going to have to check that out, see what they mean by that, because reading that, I do not understand. Don't know what that means, and I just assume that I'm just going to have to see it to believe it. The emote wheel feature I am actually stoked about. The fact that I could only choose one emote kind of made me sad because I had to choose between the hug, the chest bump, and the psych, like fist bump, psych, haha, you're a loser type emotes. And now you can have, I think it said 4. Players can now equip up to 4 emotes in the armory and access them using the new emote wheel feature by holding the emote button. Additional separate key binding options are available for the emote wheel in the settings. Also added Dolby Atmos support on the PS5. Exciting. Moving on to enemies. This is the part I was most excited about. Starting with the Automaton Fabricators. The Automaton Fabricators now have more health and armor in addition to their existing destruction system. This means that while many high armor penetration weapons can still destroy them, it may take multiple hits to do so, depending on the weapons used. They also added effects to clearly showcase their health state. So I assume that the more you hit them, the more deteriorated they look. And you can obviously memorize the lowest amount and all of that fun stuff. I love that idea because now I can hit them from all angles and not have to be standing specifically in front of them, which was very annoying. Very excited to see that in effect. All of the Hulks, every single one of them, armor reduced from 5 to 4. The back spot slightly more durable, the back weak spot slightly more durable, and the back weak spot health decreased from 1,000 to 800. The Hulk Bruiser specifically replaced the rocket launcher for an energy-based cannon. That I am excited about. Increased how frequently the Hulk Bruiser shoots. Makes sense. He'll stomp around less, shoot more. So, the tank front armor increased from 5 to 6. That makes sense to me. Prioritizes its back weak spot. No other changes. The Berserker, the head health reduced from 150 to 125. That's a pretty small decrease. The main health was reduced from 1,000 to 750, which is a more significant decrease. And the abdomen is now a weak spot. Chainsaw damage increased. I personally had no problem sticking out the Berserkers. When they build up, though, it does kind of become a problem. It looks like they're a little more deadly, but easier to take care of, especially now that the abdomen is a weak spot, which I won't lie, I thought it already was, but this just makes it better. The Devastators, all Devastators, main health reduced from 800 to 750. That's only a 50-point reduction, and they now flinch when hit, causing their aim to worsen. Similar to the conscripts. The intent is to make them easier to manage if you keep applying damage, which is phenomenal. In my opinion. The Rocket Devastators specifically, and this is something that people found out before, whether it was a leak or just released, they now have a limited number of rockets, and you can see them disappear when they are spent. They do have a single reload, and they have a reload mechanic, and their physics collision is smaller, making them easier to avoid. Moving on to gunships. Gunships now have a limited amount of rockets, and the physics collision is smaller of the rockets, making them easier to avoid. Gunships were also never really a problem as long as you had something to take them out. All versions of the Chargers, every single one of them. The armor was reduced from 5 to 4. The butt weak spot health is decreased from 1100 to 950. The butt weak spot is slightly less durable, and the belly armor reduced from 4 to 2. The chargers, obviously their butt is big, exposed out there, and it never seemed like that was really true to its character design. Now it is becoming more true to its character design, which is really nice for the immersion aspect of the game. A damage multiplier has been added to the charger's exposed flesh of the main body, now dealing 300% damage. They now turn slightly slower when charging and moving normally. So that's interesting. Now charge less often. Honestly, I didn't ever have a problem with how fast they turned, just because it made it a little fun to dodge and weave between them. However, when there are multiple chargers in one spot, this makes it easier, essentially. And they charge less often, which is also a little interesting to me. The charge damage increased by 50%, so it just makes it a little more imminent when they are charging at you, and side attack damage increased by 50%. The Charger Behemoth, specifically, the butt weak spot health is decreased from 1200 to 950. That's a significant decrease. The Hunters, the health is reduced from 175 to 160, not 60. That would have been way awesome. Scavengers, health is, maybe those were the ones. Health is reduced from 80 to 60. So just overall health reduction. The Bile Titan, armor reduced from 5 to 4. We have reworked the Bile Titan's belly gameplay, which again is more true to the character design and helps with immersion. Overall, the belly armor was reduced from 4 to 2 and introduced a separate belly health pool once the outer belly layer has been destroyed. Destroying the exposed belly health pool kills the Bile Titan, which is something that did not previously happen. And the Impaler, armor reduced from 5 to 4. Previously, the Impaler could only retract its tentacles once during its entire lifetime when threatened. Now it can do it several times. Its tentacles pursue you over a shorter distance from the Impaler and prioritize players nearest to the Impaler, which I think should have been a thing from the beginning. I'm glad it's getting added in now. And the Impaler if the Impaler can't see an enemy, it will retract its tentacles after a brief period, allowing you to truly escape from it and hide from an Impaler. The Impaler tentacles themselves, their damage is increased, reduced camera shake of the tentacle attack, and the tentacles require less damage inflicted on them to retract. So they are just a little more deadly. Don't know how much more deadly. They failed to leave that out, or failed to put that in, but they are easier to deal with. That is all of the enemies. I think this is going to, all of the automaton stuff, I think it's going to make people hopefully play them and enjoy the automatons a little more. The planets and modifiers. These were very interesting. I did read over these already. The intense heat and extreme cold modifiers are no longer static throughout the entire mission and may change based on time of day or different weather conditions. Meaning, if it is day time on a hot planet, it will be hot, but if it is nighttime on a hot planet, it might not be so hot, which is very exciting. Some desert planets will now only have the intense heat modifier active during the day. This means that during the night, the planet will either have no modifier or in some cases have the extreme cold modifier, similar to a desert in real life. Immersion. Arid planets, similar to Hellmire, will now only have the intense heat modifier active during the fire tornado storms. This is very useful and nice for people like me who use the laser weapons that overheat and other things that require cooldown similar to the Quasar. There's a ton of little fixes. I personally do not want to read through every single one of them. I will graze over and read the ones that stick out to me. My biggest problem that I remember having is as soon as the mission would end and you get the little, Pelican one flying you guys off to safety, that loading screen would not finish loading. So I'm hoping that that is something that they have fixed. Fixed soft lock during mission summary if the host has left the game. I'm sure that might have been what it was. Heavy and flying. Oh, the generators. Right, that's what it is. Added more protection for the generators to prevent enemies shooting them from far away. Heavy and flying enemies now prioritize attacking the players before the generators at the gates, and the gates. Fixed an issue where enemies would stop spawning for a period of time when the host leaves a mission. There are some known issues. Players may not receive friend requests from another platform. Large units have no audio cues allowing them to sneak up on players. This is an issue, and it has been an issue. I say all the time, whenever I'm playing, like, holy shit, that Bile Titan literally snuck up on me. Like, I'll turn around, and there's a Bile Titan, and I'm dead just because I did not hear it. And I play Helldivers with headphones on specifically so that I would hear things trying to sneak up behind me. Knowing that that is a known issue makes me feel better.